called 911 from inside a locked office at 2 a.m. The phone rang twice. A woman answered. But it wasn't the dispatcher. It was the same woman who had been standing outside my door for the last 40 minutes. And she said, "Calm as anything. Ridgeway Storage, how can I help you?" I dropped the phone. Let me back up. Because what happened that night started way before that call. Okay, so, I'm not gonna lie. I took the worst job of my life for the dumbest reason. I needed rent money. Fast. My buddy told me this place called Ridgeway Storage was looking for a one-night fill-in. Their regular night guard had quit without notice. The pay was decent for one night. The manager seemed normal enough, and I figured, hey, how hard is it to sit in an office and watch some cameras for 8 hours? Ridgeway Storage is a small self-storage facility sitting on the edge of town, right off a 2-lane road with nothing but woods on both sides. The kind of place you drive past 100 times and never really look at. During the day, I'm sure it's totally unremarkable. At night, though, that place felt wrong in a way I couldn't put words to. Like the silence was too heavy. Like the rows of metal storage units were listening. The manager walked me through the office before he left, showed me the camera system, the keycard scanner, the phone. Then he stopped and looked at me in a way that made me uncomfortable. "I need you to remember a few things," he said. "Not rules, things. Don't go into the storage rows after midnight. Don't open the office door for anyone, no matter what they say. And if the system logs a unit under a name you recognize, don't go near it." I laughed a little. Whose name am I gonna recognize? He didn't laugh back. "I hope nobody's," he said. Then he left. 20 minutes later, I found out whose name it was. It was 1:16 a.m. Rain had started hitting the windows. I was doing my first camera sweep of the night when I heard a knock at the glass front door. A woman was standing outside, mid-30s, soaked gray hoodie, hair plastered to her face from the rain. She kept glancing back over her shoulder toward the storage rows like something was behind her. Then she looked right at me through the glass and said, "Evan, please open the door." I went completely still. I had been on the job for 20 minutes. My name wasn't on any sign. I hadn't talked to a single person since the manager left. There was zero reason on earth this woman should know my name. I pressed the intercom. "Ma'am, the office is closed. You'll need to come back in the morning." She leaned closer to the glass. "I can't wait till morning. I left something in my unit. I'm not authorized to let anyone in after midnight. Those are the rules." She smiled, not warm, not friendly, like she had expected me to say exactly that. Then she said, "Check unit C14. I pulled up the digital facility map on the computer. A row, B row, C row. I scrolled down to C14. It was marked occupied. I looked at the tenant name, and my stomach dropped straight through the floor. Evan Miller, my full name. Okay. First thought was that the manager had entered my info wrong when I filled out the job paperwork. But no, this wasn't an employee file. This was a rental account. A real, active rental with a start date from 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I didn't even know this place existed. I looked back at the woman. "How do you know my name?" The smile faded. She leaned toward the glass and whispered, "You told me." I stepped back from the door. I told myself there was a rational explanation. There had to be. Identity mix-up, clerical error, some kind of bizarre coincidence. I almost convinced myself. Then I checked the camera for row C. Most of the units were dark and still. But the camera at the end of the row, the one pointing directly at C14, showed something that made me forget how to breathe. The metal door was open, about 6 inches. I had personally checked every single camera before the manager left. That door had been closed. The woman outside knocked on the glass. Once. Again. Again. Slow and patient, like she had all night. "Evan," she said, "you need to look inside." I grabbed the office phone and called the manager. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Voicemail again. Then my cell buzzed. A text from his number. Do not leave the office. Before I could even process that, another text. If she is at the door, do not speak to her again. My hands were shaking. I turned back toward the glass. The woman was still there, but now she was holding something up so I could see it. A key card. She turned it slowly so I could read the name printed on it. Evan Miller. I looked down at my belt. My own key card, the one the manager had handed me 2 hours ago, was gone. I had no memory of losing it. I had it when I sat down, I was sure of it. She pressed the card against the scanner outside. Beep. Access granted. The office door unlocked. I grabbed the handle from the inside and held it with everything I had as she pulled from the other side. She didn't rage, didn't scream. She just looked at me through the glass with this unsettling patience and said, "You always make this part difficult." Then the power went out. Everything died at once. Cameras, office lights, parking lot floods, all of it gone in an instant. The only light left was the emergency exit sign above the back door, throwing this dim red glow across the whole room. One bar on my phone. That's when I made the 911 call. You already know how that went. When the call dropped, I heard the front door opening, just a crack. The lock had released on its own. I moved behind the desk and pressed myself against the wall, trying not to breathe. Footsteps came into the office, slow, wet, heavy. The woman walked in and stopped near the front counter. In the red emergency light, I could just barely make out her shape. She scanned the room, but not like she was looking for me, more like she was checking whether something else was already in here. Then she spoke quietly, almost to herself. "Evan, the unit is almost full." I didn't move, didn't make a sound. She took a step closer to the desk. "You should have come back before it learned your voice." Before I could figure out what that meant, something beeped behind me. The security monitor switched on by itself. Only one camera feed was working, Unit C14, and now the door was fully open. I stared at the screen. The unit was packed floor to ceiling with cardboard boxes, but these weren't regular moving boxes, the kind you grab from Home Depot. These were clean, uniform, clearly labeled with printed white stickers. I leaned toward the monitor to read them. Evan's school photos, Evan's medical forms, Evan's phone records, Evan's third-grade teacher, Evan's childhood bedroom measurements, Evan's mother's house floor plan, Evan's bedroom window latch type, Evan's daily schedule current, Evan's voice sample recordings. I genuinely felt sick. Whatever this was, it had been building for months, studying me, cataloging me. Every detail of my life that could be observed from the outside. Then I saw the box nearest to the open door. The label said, "Evan, night shift uniform." I looked down at myself. Black jacket, gray shirt, employee badge clipped to my chest. Exact match. The camera flickered. Just for a second, I saw someone standing inside the unit. A man wearing my uniform, his back to the camera. Then, slowly, he turned his head to look over his shoulder. I couldn't see his face clearly in the grainy feed, but I knew I absolutely knew it was supposed to be mine. The woman's voice dropped to barely a whisper. "That one isn't ready yet." I started crawling backward under the desk, trying to stay quiet. My hand hit something mounted on the underside of the desk surface, a panic button. The manager had pointed it out during orientation, said it sent a direct alert to a security company. I pressed it. Nothing. The woman almost smiled. Evan already pressed that. Before I could process what that meant, we both heard it. A sound from outside. Deep, mechanical, unmistakable. A metal storage door rolling up. Slow, loud, deliberate. C14. The woman's whole composure broke. She spun toward the camera and whispered, "And I want to be clear, this woman who had been calm and in control this entire time." She looked terrified. "No, Not yet. Then a voice came through the office intercom. My voice. But wrong, flatter. Like someone had recorded it and played it back at the wrong speed. Open the office door. The woman backed away from the desk. I could see real panic on her face now. The kind you can't fake. She ran to the front door and yanked the handle. It didn't move. She slammed her keycard against the scanner. Once, twice, 3 times. Access denied. My voice came through the intercom again. Open the office door. She turned to me. All that calm from before. Gone. Evan, she said, and her voice was shaking. You need to hide. Right now. Hide from what? I whispered. She pointed at the monitor. A figure was walking down row C, toward the office, moving in my uniform, at my height, with my build. But the walk was slightly off, too deliberate. Like every step had been studied from a video and copied, but whoever was copying hadn't quite figured out the natural weight shift of a real person yet. The woman's voice cracked. I brought the wrong one. The figure passed under a flickering light at the halfway point of the row. For 1 second, I saw its face, almost mine. That's the only way I can describe it. Like someone had assembled my face from reference photos, but missed the small things. The way the eyes move, the slight asymmetry everyone has. The eyes were too wide, the smile too perfectly centered. And the skin had this quality, like looking at a high-resolution printout of a photograph of a person instead of an actual person. The front door handle moved. Once, twice, stopped. 3 soft knocks from the other side. The woman covered her mouth. The voice outside said, Evan, your shift is over. I stayed under that desk shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. The woman took 1 step toward the front door. Don't, I whispered. She looked back at me, and in that moment I understood. She hadn't come to hurt me. Whatever she had come here to do, she was now just as trapped as I was, afraid of the exact same thing standing outside that door. She opened it anyway. The emergency light cut out. I heard her scream, just half a second, and then silence so complete it felt like the building had swallowed the sound. When the lights came back on, the office was empty. Door locked. Rain had stopped. All cameras working. Unit C14's door was closed. At 6 a.m., the manager walked in and found me under the desk. I told him everything. The woman, the fake keycard, the boxes, the thing in my uniform walking down row C. He didn't look shocked. He didn't look confused. He just looked exhausted. Like someone who'd had this exact conversation before. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked, Did it speak to you in your own voice? I nodded. He closed his eyes. Then don't answer your phone for the next 3 days. Unknown numbers, saved contacts, anybody, don't answer. I quit on the spot. Didn't even ask for my pay. Drove home without stopping once and sat on my couch until the sun came up. I did everything the manager said. 3 days. Ignored every single call. Unknown numbers, spam, even a few numbers I recognized. Let them all go to voicemail. Nothing unusual. Nothing scary. Started to think maybe I'd imagined the whole thing. Then on the 4th night, my phone rang. No caller ID. I let it ring out. Voicemail popped up a few seconds later. I don't know why I played it. Curiosity maybe. Or maybe part of me needed to know whether it was over. The first few seconds were just breathing. Slow and steady. Then my own voice. That flat, wrong version of my voice whispered, Evan, I finished your shift. I'm coming home now. I threw my phone across the room. Next morning, I opened my apartment door to leave for work. There was a cardboard box on the doorstep. No return address, no postage, no delivery sticker of any kind. Just a single clean white label on top. Evan, original. That box is still sitting in my trunk because I can't bring myself to open it, and I refuse to bring it inside. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what the woman was. I don't know what was in that unit learning how to be me for 3 months. What I do know is that somewhere out there, something is walking around with my face, and it thinks it finished my shift. If you've ever worked a night job and experienced something you still can't explain, drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and after what happened to me, I need to know I'm not alone in this. Hit subscribe if this story got under your skin. New original horror every week. And leave a comment with your theory about what was actually in that unit, because I've been trying to figure it out since that night, and I'm not sure I want to know the answer.